Good morning, Mixed Screens fans and supporters. This is Jessica Mathis, and we will talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is the Beloved Community Remastered Part 1. When discussing the beloved community, we must consider that Dr. Martin Luther King created and wanted a better world for everyone. In today's society, when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, it may help to know what they are and what the differences are. In the first part, we're going to talk about what they are. In the second part of our series on diversity, equity, and inclusion, we will talk about what the differences between these three things are: diversity, equity, and inclusion. Diversity is defined as characteristics and experiences that make one person different from another. It also is defined as the presence of difference within a group that can include gender, race, cultural background. We use these things to focus on representation. For example, in the world of entertainment, we have people like Esther Rolle and Jimmy Walker, who played on the show called Good Times in the 1970s. During the 1970s, blacks were heavily represented. Before the 1970s, blacks were not that represented on TV. So Esther Rolle and Jimmy Walker, Esther Rolle and Jimmy Walker representation of black actors in the 1970s. Inclusion is defined as the act of being included. Social inclusion is defined as making a person or thing part of a group, regardless of their ability, race, gender, or ethnicity. It also ensures that they have access to the same opportunities as everyone else. A good example of inclusion would be in education. When the ADA law was first created, there was a time when we had the Individual Education Act for disabled children, and this allowed children with disabilities to have the necessary services and accommodations that they needed to achieve successful learning. Social equity is defined as acknowledging the differences among people and allocating resources to them so that they will have equal access to opportunity. Later on, I will discuss more about what these things are: diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I will discuss the difference. Thank you and have a nice day.